How's it going, YouTube? Jamie the Kid 00 here, coming to you guys with a tournament diary. This should be tournament diary, I think, 46. Either way, it's with Fire Fist, and it's with much more fixed Fire Fist from the deck I brought you last time I played this, I think, 2 weeks ago. I ended up bringing this to my usual locals back up in Cardiff. We had 38 people today, but we only had room for 5 rounds. I ended up coming second. Myself and my opponent ended up splitting in the final round, and we played for first and second, and my opponent won because I made horrible misplays that I'll talk about in a bit. But I figured I'm going to go through the deck profile first, and then I'm going to do then I'm going to talk about the matchups afterwards, just so those of you who wanted to see the deck can get that out of the way, and then if you wanted to actually hear how I did, I'll tell you how I did afterwards. But yeah, either way, came second, going 4-0-1, and the deck was really, really good through the event. I really enjoyed playing it. I'll probably play it again next week. So for the monster lineup, we played, of course, the 3 bears, the best card in the deck, in my opinion. The 1 gorilla. This card comes into its own when you need it, but at the same time, it's not a great card. But I'd rather be playing the 1 gorilla for the kind of back row stuff that you have to remove. So it is what it is. I wouldn't play any more than that. I really think this card is really situational. So yeah, the 1 gorilla. It's kind of like Wiper. Then the 2 rabbits, because I'm playing the rabbit variant. These were really good throughout the event. I opened them. Oh, I don't want to say a lot, but quite a few times, and they were really, really, really good. For once, my Warwolves were consistent, and I saw the rabbits before the Warwolves, so that was great. I don't think I ever drew Warwolves into making them dead, unlike last time I played this, which ended up drawing a lot of Warwolves. Then, speaking of them, I played 3 copies of Warwolf. I still feel this is the best normal monster. I don't like Vorse Raider. I think the virus player is overrated in this deck, and it's more inconsistent, and you should just concentrate on winning your games with other methods. And the fact that you can play Fissure against Mermail anyway, you don't really need the virus on top of that. Then I played 2 Tengu. These cards are insane. And I know a friend of mine will comment saying that I misplayed hard with these. Never Duality and summon this and run into a Mirror Force, because I did a stupid and Dualitied and then thought this was still invulnerable because I misplayed in the final round, and I'm stupid. But otherwise, Tengu was amazing throughout the day, but don't misplay with Tengu because it will punish you hard. Then I played the double tour guide. Basically, there's 2 reasons for the tour guide. 1, if your opponent opens rabbit, that means you open rabbit if you have the tour guide, which my friend Ash demonstrated to me when I lost to him game 2 in the final round, because I opened rabbit. So I had my rabbit, and no, it was game 1. I had my rabbit, and he had the tour guide, and that ruined the game for me because I got slammed. And the second reason was simply because you can toolbox out so much other stuff. The Giga Brilliant giving you power to your banishers and things like that you side, and just the fact that it gives you access to things like Zen mains. The Levier to abuse bottomless bears, bottomless gorillas, and it also gives you access to things like, as I said, Giga Brilliant, Zen mains, all sorts of cool stuff like that, and Tempo, most importantly. And then for the final monster, I played the best tech of the day, Neospatial Grandmole. A lot of people said this tech really wasn't going to work, but this was absolutely insane. It was really great in testing, because I ended up bouncing my friend's Garunix, which was really good fun. And although it didn't really bounce any big targets today, it ended up really putting a lot more pressure on board, because I was able to continuously summon this, and then use a Tensu to summon a bear, and repeatedly have this for the pressure to bounce stuff, and then push with bear. So people would often, if I had this play out and they didn't have Dark Hole, people would often scoop to that. So this was so good. So yeah, that is the monster lineup. It's fairly simple, but very effective. Then for the spells, we played, of course, the Trinity of Reborn, Dark Hole Storm. The 3 MST, invaluable across the day. I ended up playing against a Karakuri OTK player who was maining macros, and these were invaluable in meaning that I could actually use my effect. So, MSTs were so good. Then I played Double Duality. I still really like this. Some people would say cut this for card car, but I really prefer the Duality over the card car because it adds so much consistency. 2 Forbidden Lance. I feel that 3 is too many. 2 is just the perfect number. It was so good over the day. The ability to run over boss monsters and defend your cards from bottomless and torrential. So good. So then I played 3 copies of Tenki as the main fire formation card to search out all your good stuff, and then 1 copy of Tensu. I feel that 2 is just far too many. So 1 Tensu was plenty. That is the spell lineup. For the traps, and we played quite a few. Played the 1 Mirror Force because Force is just really good in the meta at the moment, but I feel that 2 is a bit much. But I continuously want to play 2, but at the same time, 1 is doing the job. Then I played 2 Deep Prison. It's Deep Prison. 2 Fiendish Chain. These were really, really good. They weren't very good against the Hazy player, but that's Hazy Flames, so it's everything that was more meta. Chain was so good. 2 Bottomless Trap Hole. just a staple in my opinion. 2 Torrential. This is a controversial card, but I found this was really good as a reset button. While this deck plays very controlly until it can go off, if your opponent goes off and gets past you, having this as a reset button is so good, because, I mean, most of the time you don't want to lose your bear, yes, but when your opponent is making massive, massive plays and overcommitting to get over the bear, you're able to Torrential and force them into a minus, so you lose the bear, but you don't really mind that much, because you were going to lose it anyway, and you were going to probably lose from the OTK they were building. So two Torrentials, I still really like them in this deck, even though some people would say don't play them. Then I played the 1 Warning. This was really good. I drew this quite a lot, so really glad I had the Warning. The 1 Judgment, because Judgment is Judgment, and then the 1 Road, which I resolved twice, I believe, today. Not as much as I have done in the past, but the Road was good. So yeah, that is the main deck. For the extra deck, it's a bit different. I played the 2 Tiger Kings. I felt that 3 was too many. I needed room for other things, and 2 was plenty. I only ever really made 1. I think I made 2 in 1 game, and that was it. Diamond Direwolf. I finally used this card to full effect for the first time ever today. I managed to go have a Tengu and 2 bears, and my opponent had the macro that I really needed to get off board. And I went 2 bears, overlay into Direwolf, and Direwolf target Tengu and macro, and I killed the Tengu, got another Tengu, and it was so good. I was so happy to be able to use the Direwolf to full effect for once, because I've never managed to do it before. Then I played the 1 Utopia, because it's Utopia. Mace Stroke, because Mace Stroke is the best rank for, and I made this quite a few times because he's such a tank. Abyssdweller, I never actually ended up playing any decks that this would be useful against, so it kind of stayed dead, but Abyssdweller should have been a good card. Then the 1 Papal Imperative, because it's Papal Imperative. This should have been a Cowboy, but I was borrowing one, so this was a Cowboy. Because I was going to use a Chidori going into the event, but I cut it for a Cowboy that I borrowed for someone because I thought Cowboy would be better. But I never ended up making it, so yay. Then I played the 1 Shockmaster, I never made this. The 1 Leviathan Dragon, I made this against Hazy Flames because I had nothing that could get over their stuff. So Leviathan was good. Giga Brilliant, I never made it. Levier, I don't think I ever actually made the play to bring stuff back from the removed, but it was there for when I needed it. Tempo, I never needed it. Wind Up Zen Mains, I made this twice and it was really good to just stall out. And then one of the times I made it against the 5-fist player, he just went, "Yeah, I'll show you Tiger King." And then the 1 Stardust Dragon for the Starlight Road, which got dropped quite a bit. Then for the side is really random because I didn't have a lot of stuff that I wanted to side, so there'll be changes. This was, I played 1 Kinetic Soldier for Samurai, but to be fair, I wanted this to be Banisher, but I only have 2 Banishers, so Kinetic Soldier. Then I played 2 copies of Banisher of the Radiance. This card was too good. I didn't draw it that often, but it was devastating against Hazy Flames when I got it, so 2 Banisher, 2 Fossil Diner. This card came into its own against the Karakuri OTK player because he opened Beredo Beast, and I'd opened like Tanky Reborn and just unplayable stuff to go up against that, and a top deck the Fossil Diner. I just went, this could save me. Set like I think Prison or something like that. No, set Warning, go. So I had the Warning to stop any monster that would destroy this with an effect, and then he just went in and attacked with Beast, and I managed to kill his monsters. So this was so invaluable. And then I ended up reborning it later on, and just sitting there with it in defense mode, defending my prison while I pushed with my monsters, and he couldn't go off again because it was the Karakuri OTK. The deck's monsters on their own aren't very good. They have to make the synchros to be good. Then I played the 2 Maxis. These never went in. I think they went in against the Karakuri OTK player, but otherwise they never went in. But that was the monsters I sided. For the spells, I played the Triple Fissure. These went in, and they were drawn quite a bit. I drew them against the Dragunity player, which was devastating, and I drew them against the Hazy Flame player. So I'd like to contribute that to my win. Those are the only spells I sided. For the traps, I played 2 Shadow Mirror for the Darkwell matchup, because there's a lot of Darkwell players at my locals, so Shadow Mirror was invaluable. But I never actually used it, because I never played any of them for once. I played 1 Overworked for the Mirror. I really wanted to test this in the Mirror and see if it was effective, but I never drew it in the Mirror, so wah. But I wanted it there, because if my opponent was overcoming me and my opponent had more formations than me, his monsters would be bigger and his monsters would die, so I felt that it was a reasonable card to try, and I recently picked it up, so I thought, why not? The 1 Mind Crush, I drew this, but I never activated it because I drew it too late, and I won the game, but I never needed to activate this. But I put it in against the Gadget player, but that was okay. And I put it in against Fire Fist, but I never drew it. And for the final card, I played 1 Retort, but I never drew it. I played it for the Fire Fist Mirror, and I had a Fire Fist Mirror in the final round, but I never saw the Retort in time. But yeah, that has been my my kind of tournament report deck. To talk about kind of how it went down, my rounds were, in the first game I played Karakuri OTK, the Roy Sinclair build with the Gen X Ally remotes. I ended up 2-0ing that match. In the first round, he went off, and then in the second, in the first game, he ended up just having really bad hands, and I managed to beat him down with bears. Game 2, he ended up opening up the OTK, and then I had the Fossil Diner. Well, he ended up opening a very strong field with the bear, and with the beast, as I said, and I had the diner, so I managed to win from that diner. Round 2, I ended up playing against Hazy Flame, and I lost game 1 because I just didn't see any monsters. So, I saw 2 monsters, and they quickly got overcome by the fact that he was able to go off pretty much every turn. And then there were some really tentative games, because game 2 and game 3 went really similarly. Like, he had everything really early, and I just could not find my power monsters. I couldn't find any monsters to start off with, and I just had a really uphill struggle because my resources just weren't coming. It was just all traps, and I had so many traps I couldn't target. I didn't have enough to side out. So I had a really rough time against that, but I managed to muscle through the games 2 and 3. Round 3 I ended up playing against Gadgets. This deck just has a really good matchup against Gadgets, I found. The only thing it suffers with is Gear Frame. Sorry, not Gear Frame, Fortress. Because if your opponent leaves a Gadget on board, this card will muller it. And the only problems you have are the Fortresses. And I managed to kind of maneuver around the Fortresses. I mean, at one point I had to just commit my entire hand to board, set everything, and then just go Mace Stroke, flip the Fortress face down, just to try and force it off the board, which was the best play, and it ended up winning me the game. Round 4, I ended up playing against a Dragunity player, and I kind of feel this is a bit of a hollow win. I ended up winning game 1, quite straightforwardly, just because I managed to keep his plays off the board. Round 2, game 2, I ended up going in against his OTK field. He opened a field of, he used the Mistletoe Ducks play that I explained a while ago. He ended up with a field of Stardust, Bouncer, Red Eyes, Darkness Metal Dragon, and Ravine. And the Red Eyes Darkness was fully summoned, so that was quite dangerous to play up against, and I ended up slowly losing that game, because it took him a while, but I did lose that. And then game 3, he was going to make a Ducks play by searching it off of Ravine, and it was then at that point that he realised his deck was only 37 cards, 3 cards were missing including the Ducks, so he ended up having to concede the game because he didn't have a full main deck, so I feel it was a hollow win. But at the same time, I felt that I had a way around it because I had a Grand Mole on field, so even if he'd gone into like Stardust, he would have had to go into Scrap Dragon and pop his Ravine, leaving him with some very bad resources, and if I'd drawn into anything to get around it, I would have won. And then round 5, I ended up playing against Fire Fist, and to be fair, against the Fire Fist player, I absolutely pissed the game away. I opened up quite well with a Rabbit play, but he ended up having some pretty good control cards, and I made the horrible move of having Tiger King, dualitying for a Tengu, playing the Tengu. He didn't have a response to the summon, and I attacked, and he had Mirror Force, and I completely derped, forgetting that I'd dualityed and summoned the Tengu. So the Tengu instantly died, and the Tiger King died, so I really did deserve to lose that game. And then game 2, he just opened Rabbit and just absolutely wrecked my face, and I just had all the resources, and I just had no outs, so that's how it went down. I mean, it happens, and I was pretty pleased, because we ended up splitting in the final round, and I got some pretty good prizes, which will be on my Facebook group. I'll be posting a picture of them on the Facebook group. But yeah, otherwise, I was pretty satisfied with the locals, pretty happy with how it went. 4-0-1 was pretty good with this deck, and I'm hoping maybe to get 5-0 next week, but I know my friends will taunt me for that. But yeah, otherwise, I think that's about all I want to talk about. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Any comments, please let me know. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know any changes you would make, any pointers you have, and I will see you guys next time with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Related content. This has been Jamie the Kid 00. See you guys next time. Bye.